Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Here Krishna had a very difficult choice. In the battlefield, Bhishma took an oath that unless Krishna lifts arms, I am going to kill Arjuna tomorrow. One side it is the oath of Bhishma, and one side is Arjuna, who is his dear devotee, and actually he cannot face Bhishma. Bhishma is too powerful. And one more consideration is Krishna's own oath that he will not lift weapon in the battle. And you know the situation developed, situation became, Bhishma was winning against Arjuna, and situation became so tense that Arjuna, any moment Arjuna may die now. Now what did Krishna do? He did not touch, Arjuna should not die, so he is benefited. Bhishma has said that whatever happens today, he has taken a vow. Unless Krishna lifts weapon, I am going to finish Arjuna. So he has taken another vow. Because Duryodhana was enticing Bhishma, you are too affectionate to Arjuna, you are not fighting properly. So he said, speak like this, because the warrior doesn't want to hear all this. So they're okay, tomorrow you see. In fact, that's another thing, a lot of stories happen. Even after that, some things have happened. So then what happens that Krishna decides, let me throw my vow. Correct? So Krishna can be accused by moralists as somebody who did not keep his word. Krishna accepted that. So the Lord is beyond any kind of criticism. But Lord is accepting some kind of humiliation to save his two devotees. Because both were great devotees of Krishna. When Bhishma is about to leave the world, that time Krishna comes to see him with the Pandavas after the war. And Bhishma offers such beautiful praise to Krishna that can only be offered by an exalted devotee. He was an exalted devotee. By Krishna's arrangement, he was on the other side. Krishna wanted to prove, even if you have a warrior like Bhishma on your side, if you have a wrong cause, you lose the war. You're going to lose. Even if you have a warrior like Bhishma. Correct? So now, here we see this situation is there. So Krishna, for Krishna, these all things don't count. What are the things? You know, fame, infamy, good, bad. Krishna is only acting for pleasure of his devotees. When Durvasa landed with Narayana and he said that Narayana is same as Krishna, in another mood, in another form, but it's the same person. God is one, God cannot be two. So when he came to Narayana, Durvasa Muni, I said, please forgive me, I did some mischief and your Sudarshana wants to cut my head. Can you save me? He says, no, I have the property of my devotees. So Krishna is in that mood. Exactly as same Krishna, we also know, Okay, now coming to the devotee, we'll go back and forth. The devotees also are in the same mood. They don't think what is famous in this world, what is not famous in this world. What is considered, just like I was telling yesterday, people consider in this world certain service very prestigious, certain service very derogatory. Correct? People have this calculation. Compare, anything they compare. If they meet somebody, they compare. Is this person richer than me or poorer than me? Based on that they talk. I heard except classmates. The college we have friends, there is no higher and lower. But as we come to the material world, anybody you meet now new, we first evaluate him. Whether he is as successful as me materially or less. If he is more successful, we get envious of him. If he is less successful, we deride. That is how this world behaves. But a devotee has completely no such criteria. His criteria is only one, whether his activity is for the pleasure of Krishna. That's it. It may put in humiliation, it may put him in honor. It may put in, sometimes there is something in this world, we are always meeting something which you do not want to meet. And we are not meeting something which you want to meet. There is a world of contradiction and all suffocation. We want some pleasing circumstance, we don't get it. And we don't like some unpleasing situation that comes on my head. Nobody likes diseases that come in your head. And you want to be honored, sometimes you are dishonored in this world. A normal man becomes disturbed man. Anybody in this world, the ripples and waves disturb. The example is just like the reflection of the moon on water. The reflection shakes when water shakes. So those people who are affected with the metal energy shake when the metal energy shakes. They also get shaken. But a devotee, this criteria is not there at all. He works very peaceful. He is not affected in this world. It may be any situation. He continues. We see in the life of Srila Prabhupada, 40 years, no honor, no movement, one disciple. That's all Prabhupada had. 30 years to 70 years. He tried to launch the movement from India. Zero success. Not effective. You see the purport of the Bhagavatam very so pleasing. The first canto is so sweet. And what consciousness situation is there? Hopeless situation. For 50 years of age, he took sannyas. After 30 to 50, he worked as a grahastha trying to launch the movement. Nothing is happening to sannyas. Then 50 to 70, I'm just saying roughly, 50 to 70, they are working hard now to launch a movement as a sannyasi. Going here, going there. He went to Jhansi. One center was also formed. Smashed. And the house which was taken from the government, it was taken back by the government because governor's wife wanted to use it for kitty party. Imagine. Terrible it was. Taken down. No difference. Continues in his effort to launch Krishna. Even when he came to America, he was so detached. He said, anyway, I'll come to this country, let me preach for some time. And I'll go back. He used to go back to Scindia steamship. When is the next ship going now? There was no hope. Trying. Detached. And there, the whole world recognized him. He became a world celebrity. Correct? Became one of the most famous acharya in the history of India. Those who are eye to see will see. Prabhupada says, spiritual knowledge spreads when people submissively hear to a pure devotee. That submissive hearing did not happen in India. Prabhupada says spiritual knowledge, there is a bogus organization, I don't want to name them, from Bengal only. Terribly bogus organization, very popular. That fellow said, that joker, that I met some Swami, and when I met him, I got an electric shock. Quick. He blessed me. And he became fully exhausted. And he said, started crying, I lost all my spiritual knowledge. What is this nonsense actually? Terrible nonsense. They have spread this. Prabhupada said, spiritual knowledge does not spread like that. Like an electric shock. None of Prabhupada disciples felt an electric shock, neither it is needed. And Shukadeva Goswami spoke to Parikshit Maharaj. He heard with rapt attention and paid. And no electric shock was there. Neither Shukadeva Goswami cried, I lost my spiritual knowledge. Nothing like that. Imagine how much wholesale cheating. Whole India believes that. It is a very popular story. I think most of the people know what names I want to refer. Some may feel heard also. But you have nothing to do. Truth has to be told. We have to save people to be cheated from this bogus way. So spiritual knowledge is not like that, which goes by electric shock. Spiritual knowledge goes how? When you hear submissively to a pure devotee, the heart awakens and the pleasure of service to the Lord. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bija. Tarka Apratishtaha, spiritual knowledge doesn't come by logic, sir. By logic you can know. Neti, neti, neti. This is not spirit, this is not just like, we can understand. This word will not give you satisfaction. This word is temporary. By logic, this much you can understand. Prabhupada says, but what it is, you cannot understand. What God is, you cannot understand. You can understand God is not this, God is not this, you can give a big list. What Atma or God is cannot be understood by logic. So those people who get stuck to logic, that is called Jnanis generally, they maximum understand to the level of impersonal Brahman. But a devotee, well, we didn't do much logic. None of us even know we are experts in Sanskrit. Because by all good fortune, we heard of pure devotee. And Krishna descends to the heart of a devotee when he submissively hears to his pure devotee. Prabhupada says, Krishna is handed down in the Guru Parampara. Correct? Prabhupada said, this Krishna has taken birth in the womb of the Krishna consciousness womb. Prabhupada said. And today you see, it's true. When a pure devotee surrendered to Krishna in a Guru Parampara, when he can deliver Krishna. Therefore Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, I am your dog. Krishna said, Tumhara, Krishna is yours. You can give it to me. Krishna is a prophet, is a pure devotee, deliver. That is how Krishna consciousness got distributed. Nobody heard. Prabhupada said Indians are more interested in politics. They are more interested in so many frivolous activities now. And actually he said they have no political sense also. Many times Prabhupada said they have zero political sense. We can see today what kind of leaders we are electing. And what the leaders do in parliament, what the voters do in voting election. They collect 5 rupees and they give a vote. They drink a bottle, they give a vote. On caste based, on any base, anybody can collect votes in India. Actually, Indians are not fit to vote. I'm not saying other part of the world, they are also fools, number one. But even materially, they have no intelligence how to select a vote. We say we should select a great Paramahamsa, a great devotee to be the ruler. He knows how to rule on behalf of the Lord, like Yudhishthira Maharaj ruled. Krishna said, yes, Yudhishthira Maharaj should rule. That is one vote. We need people like that to vote. So that's another issue. Now coming back to the main thing. What are the... Yeah. So Krishna is delivered by the Acharya. Correct? When somebody submissively hears to the pure devotee, Krishna is delivered. Not by electric current. Now when somebody has developed and grows in Krishna consciousness, he is also not affected by the reverse. It's like Prabhupada not affected. So many difficult conditions came. Say, even external bodily, Prabhupada used to land up in some country and there used to be so much of a jet lag. Same routine everywhere. 4 o'clock morning, he goes, he does this. 6 o'clock, he does this. 7 o'clock, he does this. 8 o'clock, he does this. Same routine. This time he eats, this time he sleeps. He was sleeping hardly nothing, 1 or 2 hours. But the same routine he was managing. Same thing in afternoon. Afternoon he sits down. That is the one secretary bring all the letters. Now he has a worldwide movement. He had nothing previously. He is not changed. And whole world is worshipping, thousands of disciples at least are worshipping him. No change. Not effective. For us, if 2 people start shouting Jai Jai, we become intoxicated. No difference. Same devotee. Remain the same. So devotees are also not affected by that. Another point is now coming back to Krishna is that Bhishma says this. When in the Rajasuya Yajna, Krishna was to be worshipped. If the first Accrue Puja, the most important person is selected as a leader and is worshipped. At that point, people suggested Krishna's name. Sahadeva and other people suggested Krishna's name. At that point, who was the person? Who started shouting? Shishupal started shouting. What is all this? Why this person should be worshipped? He is like this, he is like this. He started saying so many things. At that point, Bhishma said that I am celebrated as a famous brahmachari. Correct? Bhishma was very pakka in his brahmacharya. He can take his blessings if you want to be brahmachari. Hanuman, another great brahmachari. So he said, Paksanda Prabhupada, that is called Naishtika Brahmacharya. These are all a good example of Naishtika, fully fixed Brahmacharya. So, Bhishma said that I had so many people say as a Brahmacharya. But Krishna, when he was dancing in the Rasa Leela, or when he was in Dwarka surrounded by thousands of wives, his mind was not even slightly agitated. I don't think I can do that. The gopis in Vrindavan, or the thousands of wives in Dwarka, unimaginably beautiful. Even the Apsaras cannot match them. You know, the Narayan Rishi are with terrible tapasya. So sometimes mistake happened. And the Cupid went to enchant. Cupid is a principle. Prabhupada is such a powerful principle. You see, even in the bestial societies, a very, very ugly man, the wife gets attracted. Very, very ugly, the husband gets attracted. It is so powerful force. Sometimes you see photograph on the TV from Africa, some fellow. Correct? We will get frightened when you see that. A person is like almost, we don't want to speak racism, but I am saying some tribe if you see, we are not talking about civilization. Anyway. So if you see that, what will happen? You may get frightened. Somebody, hairs like this, on the ear something hanging, on the nose something hanging. But that woman is Miss Universe for that man without that. Cupid is so powerful. Even in the animal society, everywhere it is running. It is so powerful. Animals also run after their mate. This society is like that one. People are running. Om Sam Siya Mitana Bhava Meta Tayor Mito Hridam Pratyana. But Krishna was not slightly attracted, even to thousands of wives, not one of them. Actually, the Lord's position is Atmarama. Atmarama means fully satisfied in himself. That is Krishna's position. So he is fully satisfied, but just because some woman wanted Krishna as a husband, he reciprocated. That's all. It is not that Krishna is depending on that. No? Krishna is such a merciful personality. Somebody says, Krishna, can you give me rasa, satisfaction as your wife? Krishna says, okay, I give it to you. He reciprocates. But they will feel also, Krishna is a henpecked husband, he doesn't leave us only. All the time he is there, trying to seek our company all the time. Krishna is least attractive. That is his nature. He is fully satisfied in himself. We, independent of Krishna, we cannot live. But Krishna can fully be satisfied independent of us. There is a difference between Krishna and us. That is why he is called Swarat, fully in complete situation. Now, devotee of the Lord, because of constant meditation on the lotus feet of Krishna, also becomes, but not independently, dependent on Krishna's lotus feet meditation. He also becomes outside the ripples of this world. Therefore, he can behave like this. We see nowadays people watch cricket all the time. One person they have made out, actually nothing in his control. Little it is not everything is under his control. Wind is also blowing, and he tries his best, but not 100%. Batsman also has a wild swing. It may catch, ball may hit, and it may go outside. But whatever happens, how much credit it takes? Oh, you will run. Devotees are not. In fact, devotee will not participate in cricket. It's a gambling. It's a waste of time. He has better things to do. Somebody told Swamiji, that movie, did you see that? I said, no, I don't watch movie. Any good reason why you don't watch movie? He's asking me. And I didn't answer because there is no use to answer. I said, I just answered, I have better things to do. Then he asking, like what? That was so interesting. Huh? Similarly, cricket, you say we don't watch it. Hurry, why? I have better things to do. Like they think the people do not understand there is something better to do than wasting time about these things. So the devotee is unaffected. He doesn't waste time, but whatever he is doing, he does because it ought to be done for the pleasure of the Lord. A sattvic, a man in goodness has been taught him, does things because it ought to be done. A rasic man does things because he is chasing some fruit out of it. Just like most of the students are very studying. Why they want to go to IIT? Or why they want any other? They are not coming to study in IIT. Nobody studies in any college. Why they want? Because they can make a lot of money there. That is their main thing. And the fourth year, they are waiting for placement. And if they get good salary, parents also think his life is successful, we also think his life is successful. We are not saying don't have money, but use it for Krishna's pleasure. But otherwise, just to have money for your pleasure. Because people are so dull-headed. They feel if I have better eating, if I have better sleeping, if I have better mating, if I have better defend, I will be very happy. People are so foolish. People are so foolish. They don't understand these things are illusion. It is not that the devotee doesn't want money. He wants money for Krishna. He said, okay. For himself, he does not endeavor. Just like you see the Goswamis. Look at them now. Same shloka. They took sannyasa. They were ministers in the. And there is a history. It's a historical record. 500 years ago, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, there was a king called Nawab Hussain Shah, very powerful, and Bengal is also a big seat. Therefore, Britishers made Calcutta their capital that time. Very important king. At that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told his two important ministers, there is an important preaching mission. You leave your job and come. They both resigned from their job. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent them to Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan, they lived a life of mendicant. They were so rich that one boat could be filled of gold. That much wealth they had. Very rich finance minister or prime minister or Nawab Hussain Shah. Super rich people. They became mendicant, just wearing one towel or a loincloth. That's all. Living below a different tree in Vrindavan every day. Where were they affected by it? They were so much, they were enjoying the beauty and the wealth of Krishna consciousness that this was burned away. This, what do you see? These ripples and all were not touching them. So much they were on samadhi. Similarly, we hear the example of Parikshit Maharaj. So much he was on samadhi, on hearing the pleasure of Krishna consciousness. The fear of death did not touch him. Correct? It was not that day is approaching, one more day is approaching. He was so much enjoying the pleasure of hearing Bhagavatam that last day he says, where is that snake was going to come and bite him? He was to die by a snake bite. Where is that snake? And he was on samadhi. Come, samadhi of Krishna. Therefore, for a devotee, imagine anybody in this world, when death comes, panics. Correct? Devotee. Just take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna and just hold those lotus feet. Krishna, give me protection. Leave it to you what you want to do now. Correct? I am under your protection. Come, surrender means what? 6 principles are there. One of the principles is protection. At times he is only desiring to serve Krishna. Krishna, give me your protection. I leave it to you what you do. One devotee told me, he had some operation. Not he, she. I asked her, how was it? I just prayed to Krishna, give me protection. Very simple. That is how we should meditate. Krishna, please give me protection. That's all. Okay? And he is not affected by anything of this world. Whatever happens, it is under Krishna's control. Let Krishna do what he wants to do. Correct? My life is in his hand. Just like Radharani says, you trample me or you embrace me. But you are the Lord of the heart. Nobody else. Natu eva, mata prana nata, natu eva, napara. What is the shloka? Ashishya padarasham parnushtuma adarshanam varamahatam karotu va yatha tatha vidadhatu lambhato mata prana nata natu sevana para. The beautiful prayer. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ends his Krishnastaka with that. My Lord, do what you want. So devotees in that mood. And what happens to a devotee in this mood? Vishnu Purna Sukhaya. He's in bliss all the time. Okay? Enjoying the bliss. So therefore, as devotees, we should not at all be scared or disturbed by any condition. We are just doing what is supposed to be done. Devotee maintains himself in very sattvic level, and it does what is supposed to be done. See? There is one thing which used to strike a lot of people when they used to watch Prabhupada. A lot of visitors used to come around the world. First thing they used to see, this man is so peaceful. All of us are actually disturbed. Correct? There is, in the deep of the heart, there is gara. Prabhupada is so peaceful. That wasn't all his dealings. He's teaching, he's instructing his disciples, and then you have to compose it. When the Brahmana came to meet Lord Krishna, you know, Rukmini sent a Brahmana to meet Krishna as a messenger, that she was forced to be married to Shishupal. To send a message to Krishna, please kidnap me. At that time, when the Brahmana reached Krishna's place, in fact, Krishna also plays a joke. He said, "Arey, so much I am thinking of her, I am not getting sleep in the night." Rukmini is Adi Lakshmi. She is the chief among Krishna's queens in Vaikuntha, or in Goloka. There in Goloka it has three parts: Dwaraka, Mathura, and Krishna form is only in Goloka. So Dwaraka, Mathura, and Vrindavan. So there she is a queen, Krishna's queen in Dwaraka. So she is an eternal associate of the Lord. She is not the most exalted personality and top devotee of the Lord. In fact, she was the chief queen of Krishna's 16,108 queen. She was the chief. She is like when Narayana comes to this world, Lakshmi also comes to join in the pastime, that's all. But Krishna says, I am not getting sleep, so much I am thinking of her. I cannot sleep only. Krishna is taking the road like he has. So at that time, Krishna asked the Brahmana this question. You know, you ask different people different questions. He says, is your mind peaceful? What do you ask a Brahmana? Kitna paisa banaya? Do you ask a Brahmana like that? No. He has no interest in money. Hey, how much power you are having? No. How many disciples are having? No. What do you ask a Brahmana? You ask only one question to a Brahmana. What is that? Is your mind peaceful? That is what you should ask them. How do you ask? Are you happy in Krishna consciousness? Yes. Some difficulty is there. Okay, that's fine. But are you happy? So he asks, are you satisfied in your mind? And Prabhupada writes some sentences there. Prabhupada says, very important. Krishna asks this question. Because unless you are happy in the mind, the next things cannot occur. Nothing can be. No jnana will be there, no vairagya. Nothing will come. Samadha, vada, parasaucham, what will come? Nothing will happen. You cannot control the mind, you cannot control the senses, you have no austerity, nothing will happen. What is needed? Self-satisfaction. Whatever situation the Lord has kept me in this world, I should be fully satisfied. I use my intelligence, not that professionally I don't use my intelligence. I use the best of my intelligence. At the same time, whatever happens. But at the same time, it's not that I first become so much fussy about material progress, I destroy my spiritual life. I don't do ugrikara. Some hours in a day, I put in the material endeavor. Otherwise, like a day sandwich, morning and evening, I am at Krishna's lotus feet. Okay? So we can understand. Srila Prabhupada ki, Bhagavad Gita ki.